the set that seems to be as close to perfect as you can get. Hence the title. But is it? Now, I want to touch on a fair few points in this video about Scarlet and Violet. This isn't the normal, score out of 15 based on the hits and the print run and the future investability and opening power of the set. It's just about 151. It's way too early to judge the set because we don't know its full life cycle, its full print run. There's heaps of other factors that come into play. So down the track, I'll certainly do a proper review based on the hits and the print run and the future investability of the set. But this whole video is just about Scarlet and Violet 151 and it being so close to getting it so right. Now, Scarlet and Violet 151. It is obviously, if you haven't been in the hobby or you're just back in the hobby, it's clearly the reintroduction of the Kanto region Pokemon, the original 151. It's probably just brought millions of 30-something-year-olds on a massive nostalgia trip back into the hobby. If you're someone that has just come back into the hobby because of this set, give us a thumbs up. If you're maybe come back in during Scarlet and Violet because you've played maybe the new games with your kids or you've got them yourself and you're finally back into the hobby, also give us a thumbs up. And while we're on the whole thumbs up thing, if you haven't subscribed, please do yourself a favor. Subscribe. We're not going anywhere. The Pokemon videos, particularly investing videos, will keep on coming. But on to the task at hand and why the title says what it says, which is Scarlet and Violet is extremely close to perfection, the 151 set. I suppose if we unpack that, what is the perfect set? If I look back all through Pokemon card history, there's probably one that really stands out, which was just an absolute stellar set. And you could argue it's because it got printed so small printed, short printed, whatever. It got printed so little that it's just so rare. And for me, the set that stands out is Skyridge. I mean, I'll just roll through a couple of the cards on the screen here, but the crystal hollows, the reverse hollow versions as well, just the artwork, check out some of the artwork on some of these cards. The artists really had a field day and hats off to them. This Pokemon card set is an absolute banger and it deserves every reward it gets. Now, obviously, since Skyridge and the first Wizards of the Coast, or since the Wizards of the Coast era, Pokemon's had to evolve. It's had to evolve to a new audience and it's had to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. And the artwork gets more outrageous and we've gone from this to that to EXs to Mega Evolutions and alternate arts and now special illustration rares. And, it's all just, I suppose it's got harder. It's like sport, bigger, better, faster, stronger. It's the same in the Pokemon card world, bigger, more in your face, more exciting. What can we do to keep people engaged and entertained? And we all know attention spans are getting smaller and smaller and we've got to sell products. So let's make it as exciting as we possibly can. So how close was Scarlet and Violet 151 to getting it right? And what did it miss? That's what I want to sort of really unpack now. And while we're doing that, I just want to roll some Scarlet and Violet 151 sort of common and uncommon rare cards on the screen just to show you how beautiful these cards are. If you haven't really had a delve and a look into the artwork, just do yourself a favor and take a look. So just to clarify, this is on English 151, not Japanese 151, because Japanese 151, in my opinion, surely or ultimately or definitely trumps English 151. And I'll give you some reasons why in a second. So let's unpack that question. Where did it go wrong? Or what could it have done better? Because, and it might sound like I'm completely having a dig at 151. I'm not, because it's a gorgeous Pokemon card set. But it was so close to getting lots of things right. So the first thing for me, which is a clear outlier, or probably clear in everyone's mind, particularly if they've opened or invested or looked at Japanese 151, and that's the deletion of a few things. So first of all, the deletion of Master Ball Hollows. Man, could you have not have put them in the English Pokemon card set? Why? Why delete them? It makes no sense from a from a selling point of view. If you're sitting around, it's this is such a brilliant idea, but let's leave out the brilliant idea. Take that off the table. It's no good. We won't do it. It won't help us sell anything. Well, come on. Not only is it great for collectors, it's great for people that just want to open and look at your product. And just should have done it. Like the Master Ball Hollows are so fantastic. It just adds that extra element. How could you have implemented it into the English side of it? Because if you're not aware, Japanese gets the Master Ball Hollows, whereas for the reverse hollows, whereas English doesn't. It's one per booster box. There's 20 packs inside a booster box, so you got a 1 in 20 packs essentially has a Master Ball Hollow inside there. How could you have done it in Scarlet and Violet 151? I don't know. Maybe just randomly inserted them, like made the hit rate 1 in, I don't know, 6 elite trainer boxes or thereabouts. Something along those lines could have worked. Like, it's just a shame it's missing that. And in case you don't know, the other thing that I wanted to touch on that it's missing is some of those amazing special illustration rares, like the Mew and the Mewtwo, which you can only get on the English side by getting yourself an ultra premium collection. They come as promos inside the ultra premium collection. So it's sort of forgone or missed a couple of things from, I suppose, what the Japanese side of things gets. Now on that, just rather than banging it down all the way, like just have a look at some of these illustration rares. I just want to load them up, like the Charizard, beautiful. Could it have been better? Arguably. So, and this is the next point I wanted to touch on while I'm showing the artwork, like the Blastoise, the Venusaur, the Alakazam is my favorite special illustration rare. It was really cool that even some of the, I suppose, less known Pokemon got themselves an illustration rare spot. Things like, Dragonair and even Tangela, my boy Tangela, getting a spot in the illustration rare spot. So I suppose, if you're going to bring out an absolute fire set, which is going to bring back nostalgia and heaps of memories, and the original 151, the original Kanto region, could they have done it better? Like, don't get me wrong, it's done damn well, but could it have been better? And I mentioned the first 2 points, like the introduction of Master Ball Hollows would have helped. The introduction, of course, of the Mew and the Mewtwo special illustration rares into the main sets as chase cards would have helped, because it just feels like, and I know I'm not bagging out the set, but I'm just pointing out things that could have made it perfect because I feel like it was very close. It just feels like it's missing a few special illustration chase cards. Like, it's just a few away. And by a few, maybe 10. Like, why doesn't Gyarados get a special illustration rare? He was always that go-to. You had to work so hard. In the original red and blue versions, you leave your Magikarp at the Pokemon trainer's house just to try and get its XP up so you can eventually evolve it into Gyarados. Like, you always had to work. Gyarados was that big dragon type. Why doesn't Dragonite get a special illustration rare? Like, why doesn't I know the Legendary Bird Trio is a really cool special illustration rare, but why doesn't each one of those, as the Legendary Birds, get themselves an individual special illustration rare? Like, it just feels like it was half a dozen to 10 special illustration rares off being absolute fire. Or here's another one, like obviously Crown Zenith, you had the main set, and then you had that, I suppose, Galarian Gallery set. Could they have not done something similar in 151? Like, maybe, okay, let's just do the 151 Pokemon with our commons, uncommons, rares, and throw in, why not bring back an old holo pattern? Why not go back to that, whatever they called it, celestial holo pattern or whatever it was? Why not go back to that? Bring it back. Plus your reverse holos, and then maybe have some sort of like a Kanto gallery, for argument's sake, where you've got a bunch of your illustration rares and special illustration rares, and maybe you could have had 100 of them. Like, we could have coped with 250 card set. Like, we've been coping with 300 card sets or 280 card sets for so long. Like, I don't know, I just feel like if you were going to do something, it could have been done even more powerful, and then you could have given your Gyaradoses of the world, the Dragonites, special illustration rares. You could have given a heap of Pokemon more illustration rare spots, and then it just would have felt like, and then of course adding back in the Master Ball Hollows and the Mew and the Mewtwo, and it's just, I don't know, I feel like it was so close, and I could be barking up the wrong tree. If you disagree with me, that's fine. Please leave me some comments down below. Do you feel like, and I sound like I'm getting pretty passionate about poor old 151, it's just a Pokemon card set, but I am, because it's, if you're in your 30s, it's the one we grew up with. Like, I feel like it was just so close to getting it so right, but at the same token, it was just a little bit off. Well, I don't know if that was a rant, but I do like the set. It's beautiful. Japanese 151, is that getting a reprint? Guys I'm talking to seem to think that it's not. English 151, Scarlet and Violet 151. I'd be extremely surprised if that doesn't get itself a reprint. Like, it's only been out, what, 2 months or 3 months, however long it's been. It's not long at all since Scarlet and Violet 151 come out. But please, let me know your thoughts. It was so close to summarise, I guess. It was so close. It just needed a few little extra things, in my opinion, to have made it the perfect Pokemon card set since maybe a set like Skyridge. I look forward, hopefully, towards the end of the Scarlet and Violet 151, Scarlet and Violet 151, the Scarlet and Violet era, that if we could do the next, let's bring Lugia in, let's bring the next starters. So, it would be cool if they could do the next 250. Anyway, I'm Michael. This is Pokeyos. Catch everyone next time.